this is Valerie Aiello, and you're listening to Idea Diary. Thanks for coming back to my office and hanging out. All right, so today I was thinking about where we go from here. Where do we build our businesses? And I think it's really important that we build a business based on the next 10 years and all the changes that are happening. Maybe if we have a business that isn't the same business anymore, not that it's never going to exist, not that you're never going to have a movie theater ever again, or not that gyms aren't going to be as popular, or not that bars and restaurants aren't going to be as popular. You know, I think we can all keep doing the same things that we're good at. We just have to add more elements to our business. We got to, whatever we're master at before, if we're having money problems, or if it's hard to get customers, if it's just different now, I think it's a good idea to kind of accept that, all right, I was great at this. This is what I did before, but now we've got to add things. And those things need to be something built upon the next 10 years. How could a movie theater change their experience? What could they do? How could a bar change their experience, or their restaurant? I saw a story about a couple who I guess you could say were high risk with medical stuff, and they decided to turn their transit Ford van. They just happen to have, if you know what a Ford Transit looks like, it's just like a big van that can be totally gutted out, kind of like a cargo van. So they took their Ford Transit, took everything out, and then put tables and chairs. And when they opened up the back of the van, it was a little dining room. They had napkins and plates and forks and knives and a candle, and, just made it into a real dining room, put up lights, kind of like outdoor dining lights, Einstein or Edison lights. And they put a little tablecloth, and they would order their food in the restaurant. When the restaurant would come out for a curbside delivery, they were just kind of sitting there with tables and chairs inside their car, and they would leave the doors open so anyone walking by would laugh and say hi to them and talk to them. Eventually, the restaurants would not put their food into go containers anymore. They would plate up the plates and, actually wait tables to them inside their car, inside their little dining room, their van dining room. And that was so innovative for the customer. And I feel like just something like that just really sparks new ideas and what could be possible. Is everyone gonna travel and bring their own kind of like restaurant to eat at, as they are going around doing things to where they don't have to interact with anybody else? It's just their own little mobile bubble. I don't know. When I think of restaurants and movie theaters, and I just saw a dance studio that went out of business, I feel like my local yoga studio, they're having a good online activity. I don't know if it's a good business model, because I don't know about their income or anything like that, but I do see them trying. They did not close their doors to the yoga studio. They are having kind of music concert type of things, kind of like the healing concerts with the bowls and the yoga stuff. The space is huge that they have, so I think they're only having 10 people. It's clearly spaced out. They're able to charge a good amount of money because they're bringing in entertainment, something special than just the normal class. Just kind of taking the yoga experience to the next level. And yeah, maybe every single client that used to come to yoga, maybe they can't afford a higher price ticket to do a yoga class. But maybe because the ticket's a little bit higher, maybe there are special occasions, kind of like a birthday yoga or something, to where there's possibility for it to even out. I don't know the answers for every company, obviously. Nobody does. But I just feel like if you're struggling with what to do, and maybe you were successful before and the rug got pulled out from under you, I think maybe put that to the side and just know that, okay, we've got that down. We know that we can be an amazing whatever. Now it's time to pivot into something new? What can we also add? What can we do to maybe be valuable to our current customers, something totally new and different, or getting a new customer based on your location, based on what people might need in your genre, but they don't necessarily like yoga or like a dance or like gyms or like movie. There's some way that you can maybe pivot into a new audience. I don't know what that is. It's different for everybody. But I think what we really need to focus on is the future. We're in the 21st century. And, everything is going to be different no matter what. And I think whatever differences are happening are obviously great for some companies. Like Amazon have been prepping for sending 7-Eleven Slurpees directly to your house just by thinking about it, or something insane. They've kind of been prepping and getting ready for people don't even shop anymore and things just come to your house. So their business is skyrocketing. A lot of certain businesses are skyrocketing. I feel like the businesses that are doing really well just happen to have been working on certain things like home delivery already. Pizza places already had the home delivery system intact, so I don't think that they've had a hit in sales. Certain food restaurants, huge hit in the amount of sales because people aren't going to lunch anymore. They don't need fast food necessarily. They need maybe a cheap meal, but they can figure out different ways to do that. That's not necessarily going through a Wendy's drive-thru or whatever drive-thru. Apparently people love Chick-fil-A drive-thrus because anytime you drive by one, it's like insanely packed no matter what. If you consider a Chick-fil-A chicken versus another fast food chicken, I feel like there's kind of a difference in taste and quality. People still need good things, people still need cheap food and fast food possibly, but they need a little bit of higher quality, kind of like a more of a fast casual level of experience. So for example, I heard on Fox Business or MSN Business or some business show, I don't know, I clicked on the video on YouTube, and they were talking about Wingstop actually has totally taken off and their stock went crazy because a lot of food that you might get delivered, say hamburgers or tacos, you can have a taco night at home. You can have a hamburger night at home. And usually it's a different taste than going to a restaurant, but hamburgers at home can be really, really good. Tacos at home can be really great. But you can't really make wings. You can't really make buffalo wings at home taste really great. There's certain things that you can only get at a restaurant. Fries at home aren't great. So sometimes you need fries. Maybe that's the Chick-fil-A thing that people want the waffle fries because you can't buy frozen waffle fries and have it taste as good as being from a restaurant. I think there's some companies that their profits have gone up, and I think there's definitely tons of businesses that their profits have tanked. I don't know if there's many that have just kind of stayed the same. I feel like it's either one or the other, but I'm sure there's some that have just had zero impact. Maybe a lot of the companies that they didn't have retail fronts or commercial buildings or something like that. Maybe companies that are already had a lot of staff working from home. Everything was already delivered and it's really not affecting anything. Maybe like small online gift stores or online or things that you already ordered online. Maybe there are some that just kind of stayed the same. But for the most part, for the people that are tanking, I think that now's the time to think about how can we build this business maybe into something else or even better and bigger and better and build it for the future. And honestly, I feel like there's also a kind of niche that's happening where we're kind of going back to basics. Maybe growing food at home. I have tons of friends that are just like have gardens now. I have seen a thing that looks like a spaceship, like something you might see in a Jetsons cartoon, and it's like a little rotating garden, and it sits on a countertop or something, and it's a light. It's kind of like a little terrarium, and it has basically all the stuff that you might eat in a week of salads constantly growing. and it's a little hydroponic garden, and you put it inside your house, so you don't have to invest all that time and energy trying to grow stuff that you might kill, which is my fear. I'm thinking about things a little bit differently. I've seen a ton of people promoting classes and teaching, sewing, different things. I just feel like there's this opportunity to where we can go back to the old way of doing things. I know I'm missing a few things in my mind because I feel like I had a huge list of things that we used to do in the past, maybe even before electricity, that are coming back. I was just kind of thinking like how I wanted just to send kind of a positive message out to the world today about navigating the future. In the Great Depression, there were a lot of people that couldn't make it. There were a lot of people that just kind of just were able to scrape by and were able to get through the Depression. And there were more millionaires ever made in the shortest amount of time. I do feel like the money has kind of shifted into a lot of different places. There's money to be found. There's money to be made. Being an entrepreneur, being an employee, being tons of stuff. There's just stuff happening, and even though it seems bleak, there is a way to navigate the future and to kind of lay the course for yourself. It doesn't have to happen overnight. I think incrementally making something, changing things up, doing things different, figuring out a way to get through this whole thing, I think it's doable, it's possible, and you can make it totally unique. And you can make sure that you are happy through the whole thing. And I saw on Google that tomorrow's National Popcorn Day. So I guess get some popcorn. I do like popping fresh kernels. I have not had microwave popcorn probably in 20 years or more. I don't know. Movie theater popcorn is my favorite, but I don't think there's any to get. Maybe you can order Alamo popcorn to go. I think they still sell food at some of their locations. I'm not sure. Alamo Draft House in Austin. Not too much is going on other than that. I hope you liked today's show. I guess I'll be back tomorrow with something. I'm not sure what just yet. Anyways, I guess that's the end of the show. I still don't know how to end the show, so I'm just going to play the music.